Right.
Cool. Excellent. Get everything online. We are set to go. So good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our webinar this afternoon. We've got Leo Martinez here from the Nebraska Enterprise Fund, business mentor, loan officer. He's going to be sharing some insightful knowledge on time management. Looking forward to seeing and hearing what he has to share today. So hope you enjoy. Leo, I will toss it over to you.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. Good afternoon, everybody. For all of you who are joining, thank you so much for your time. For anybody who is catching the replay, thank you so much for taking the time and watching it. We are going to be talking about time management today. And again, like Chris said, my name is Leo Martinez. I am a loan officer, business mentor for the Nebraska Enterprise Fund, which is a nonprofit CDFI that we provide technical assistance, coaching, and we provide funding for small businesses that are either looking to expand or need some working capital for their business. So if you happen to either be a small business, an entrepreneur, or are thinking of starting a business and you need some funding, training, or technical assistance, I'll be providing you with my contact information at the end of the session, and you'll be more than happy to send me you can always send me a message, email, or give me a call so we can schedule a time for us to talk about your ideas and your business. What we're going to be talking about today is something that is really close to my heart, because I'm sure as we all know, we always want to get everything done. And a lot of times we realize that we don't get a lot of stuff done during the day. So this is a topic really, really close to my heart. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be shutting down my camera real quick, just for the purposes of having a more healthy internet connection. So I should pop up here shortly if you guys need to stay tuned for a little bit, and see you in a second. All right. So one of the first things that we're going to be talking is, in reality, is just a brief introduction of me, of what this is. I have a quick icebreaker. I love to have these sessions in person. However, not all the time is, as we know, due to the pandemic and other situations, we are forced to do this online, which sometimes I think that there's more people able to join online than in person. So what I'm going to ask you, everybody, is to feel comfortable with the chat. This is meant to be an interactive class, and I love to have this in person. Since we're going to do this online, I would love for you guys to drop what businesses, what's the name of your business, or what type of industry your business has in the chat, so I know what kind of industries we're working with. If you don't have a business, just you can put I don't have a business, or working on a business idea. So I'll give you a few seconds for you to drop it on the chat. Don't be shy. It's a lot easier for me to feed off your ideas than it is for me to just keep talking and talking and talking and talking. And we're going to be talking about how to prioritize, and we're going to give you some tips that I currently use myself to try to be more organized and more productive during my day-to-day. So I'm going to give you some tips. I'm going to share with you, none of these tools that I'm going to share are sponsored, or we endorse those, but those are the tools that I currently use, and that you're more than welcome to give them a try if you want to. Some of them are free, most of them. So yeah, let's see if anybody has any, drop anything on the chat. Feel free to do so. Your business idea, name, or industry. I'll give you a few seconds. All right, while you do that, I love this quote. And the reason why is because organization is, it doesn't get natural for everybody. And it's something that the more we do it, the more we become better at it. So just like the mind is a muscle, and the more you exercise it, the more that it gets stronger. Same thing with organization, and same thing with these little tips that we're gonna go and talk about. The more you practice them, the better you can add them, and the more that you realize whether they're gonna be good for you or not. So, oh, amazing! We have a social worker. Um, that's awesome. I'm sure you speak with a lot of people, and I'm sure that you probably get overwhelmed with paperwork. I definitely I know several social workers, and definitely have a heart for serving people. That's awesome. Anybody else that want to share your industry, your business, feel free to drop it. Again, my name is Leo Martinez. I'm a loan officer, business mentor for the Nebraska Enterprise Fund. Oh, awesome. Nonprofit. Yeah, we're a nonprofit as well. The goal for our session is really just to turn chaos into clarity, to be able to manage our day a little bit better, and just to be able to be a little more productive day by day. Um, so that's awesome. That's really cool. Nonprofit. That's amazing. All right. So I'm gonna open it up for questions really quick. Not questions. I'm sorry. For me to give you some tips. I always hate, or I should say, I dislike when I'm taking a webinar and I have to wait until the end for the tips. So I'm gonna give you some tips right away that I have used along the years, especially right where I am right now, and now that I'm with clients. Um, the ones that I have used the most. So one of the things that I want to encourage you to do is actually learn to say no more often. And by I mean saying no, I don't mean that you need to be rude, but actually to be able to understand that there's a limit for you to be able to operate at a high level and to be able to get things done. You can only do so much a day, and you can only have so many things in your plate. And a lot of the times, when we serve clients, we tend to have a heart for service and be able to, take as much as we can. But unfortunately, we can only take so many things at a time, and that creates the stress, that creates disruption on our day, and that can lead for us to not have a productive workspace, a day, a week. So that's a big one. It has taken me a while for me to learn to actually say no to different events that we get invited to, or you might not say no, but what you can say is maybe not now, and you can prioritize. And we're going to be talking about that here in a second. The other thing that I want to point out, we'll just go down the list. It's figure out where you are currently spending your time. So on the next slide, I want to be asking you a couple of questions. And how did you spend your time at work? And I would love for you guys to share down below. Uh, did you block your times on half an hours? Do you do it per task? Do you do it per hour? Do you do it by um, uh, do you block a specific time for different tasks that you have during the day? I would love for you to share how do you currently manage your time at work or at school, at home. So if you want to drop some of that in the chat, that would be awesome. So I'll keep going while you type that in. Create a daily schedule and stick to it. Now, this is so important. Um, what I what I have noticed, at least in myself, is I tend to not stick to the schedule that I do for myself. And the reason why is because there's so many little things that are involved within a task that I tend to either overextend it. So what I have found helpful for me is actually block time by task and by projects that I have. So I am not necessarily would do as a daily schedule, but what I would do is I would do a prioritized list and then work on that so that way I can be more productive and get things done that way. Um, Now, the other thing that I want to make sure that you do is here's one of the things that gets a lot of us the most. Um, we try to multitask, and we think that because we're doing more, we're being more efficient. In reality, a lot of the times we're not. studies have shown that not because you multitask, it means that you're being effective 100% on what you're doing. So blocking the time for a specific task rather than trying to do three things at a time, it's a better way for you to be effective with your time. Um, Another one that I liked and that I have found out that, especially when you're working in a team, it's assigning limits to each task. And here's something super, super, super. Um, Thank you, Chris. Um, Super important. I need you, if you haven't yet, um, I will encourage you. I have done this for the past couple of years, and it has been a game changer in my life. Schedule at end of the day time. What time are you going to end your day? The reason why is because if you have a limit that say that you're gonna, for example, I tend to work 8 to 9 hour days. Um, if I know that I'm gonna be done by 6, um, or we have a project that I have to finish and I'm gonna be done by 8, then I know that it has to be done before 8. A lot of times we just go at the day basis, and we don't actually put a time. And scheduling a time for a downtime, a relaxed time, a, and time for you to end your day is definitely a great way for you to manage your time productively. All right, awesome. I have a couple more. Um, I've logged my time by the hour. Okay, awesome. Um, I so here's what I have found out. And I used to do by hour. Um, I started to try to do a half an hour increments. Um, and I have realized that I am more productive when I do a half an hour increment task. Now I know some things that might take us a little bit more than half an hour. So then you block three half an hours for that task. Um, then just spend a whole hour on one. And the reason why is because your brain is more effective between 30 and 40 minutes. And then it tends to enter a stage of repetitiveness. So you tend to lose focus for that amount of time. So even if you just take a walk for 2 3 minutes and come back and do the keep doing it, I have myself found it very uh, more productive doing half an hour than before. But hey, I'm just trying it. So that's awesome. All right. Anybody else that has any other comments? I set alarms for my phone. Um, okay. I guess, did you say like reminders? Is that what you're talking about, Stephanie? Like, or actually like phone ring alarms that will make noise? Um, Okay, that's awesome. All right. So feel free to keep dropping down on the chat. I'd love to hear from you guys. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. Not actually ringing alarms. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, if that works for you, that's awesome. I can't because I there's folks in the office. But what I do is I do set alarms, but just silent alarms that it will bring a reminder up and it will pop up. So that's awesome. Yeah. Good deal. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. So this is going to be a little exercise that I have done, and it has helped me quite a lot. So I would love for you guys to do it with me. If you guys have a sticky notes, great. If you don't have a sticky notes, well, when you have a paper pen, you'll go ahead and just create little boxes and add your text in there. So here's a exercise that you're gonna find very effective if you want to be more productive during your day, and that's just by assigning tasks and actually prioritizing by either segments or themes that I like to call it, and then understanding which needs to be done first and prioritizing that way. So what I do, it's I have a whole bunch of sticky notes with different colors, and I put all the tasks that I have to do in those sticky notes during the day. So the way that I start my day is I typically come to the office and I have I call it a start of the day ritual for on my end. So I have a planner, and then I take a half an hour before I start my work, and I write down everything that I need to do um, on that planner. And then what I do, then I pass that into my sticky notes. And then what I'll do is I said I have to talk to so and so and so, and then I had to follow up with X person, and then I have to finish the credit memo for X business. I need to follow up, and I put all the stuff that I know that I need to do in my all my sticky notes. Then I grab and I don't have stars, so I actually just write down with a marker in the corner of it, and I change them. So for me, depending on whatever marker I have, typically red is on my end. It means that that needs to be done ASAP. Green means that it needs to be done, but it could wait. And then yellow is things that I would like to do, but not necessarily needs to be done right away. And so the way that I do it is once I put all of that in my sticky notes, it's I start organizing my day and say, okay, so this is what it needs to be done, and then I start assigning times to each task. That way, I have time for the rest of the stuff that I have to do. So here's what I would like you guys to do. I would like to take a few moments for you to give it a try. You don't have to write everything down that you need to do, but take 3 to 5 ideas that you want to finish up this week. And we are on Wednesday, so unless you're watching the replay, right now it's Wednesday. And write 3 to 5 ideas that you need to finish up by this week. And if you're brave enough, drop some on the chat so I know, so I can also read through them and see what you guys are doing. And then what you do is we're gonna go into the next slide here in a second, and then we're actually going to change how you're gonna prioritize those. So I want to give you, I'll give you about a minute or so to write those down, um, and then we'll go to the next slide and go from there. So just 3 to 5 goals that you want to accomplish this week. And awesome, yeah, catch up on emails. Yeah, that's huge. That is huge, right? So that's one. Do you have any other ones? And would anybody else like to share? What do you want to accomplish this week? All right, we got a few more seconds. It shouldn't take you too long. Unless you're driving, I guess you cannot really type if you're driving. If you're driving, just watch out. Be careful on the road. Okay, yeah, documents are huge, definitely. All right. Hold on, there. All right, so this is what I want you to do with the 3 to 5 things that you wrote down, okay? Time sheets and prepare for a trip. Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. We actually had like an exercise with our team on how would how would each one of us get ready for a trip, and depending on how how your brain works, and what your social uh, whether you're more structural or assertive, then you have different ways of organizing your trip. So that's there's a lot to do when thinking about a trip, but that's definitely awesome. Yeah. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to grab those 3 to 5. If you made more than 5, that's great. If you did less than 3, I encourage you to do 3 or 5 because it's going to work better for if you have more than that. And I want you to look at these 2 columns, okay? I want you to start thinking about your ideas on the way that you need to start prioritizing and the urgency of the task. Now I have a on my planner, and when I put everything else on my sticky notes, I have a done by one list that I need to for sure get done before one. The reason why is because you're gonna have distractions, you're gonna have people calling you, you're gonna have answer to clients or friends, family, whatever is the industry that you're working on, and you're gonna have to put some fires to. So you need to make sure that you understand where and how you can move things around. And so this is what I do, and this is how I organize my ideas and my tasks. So understanding the difference between a to do and you're done. You need to be done. You're there's no other way. You have to get done right now. So you can always change things. So for example, for your trip, you know you have to find a destination. So obviously that's your top priority, I would assume. Um, but not necessarily if you need to go buy some groceries or stuff like that. But you know you need to book plane and you need to book your Airbnb if you're staying on Airbnb, or plan activities. But yet the activities are not more important than it is the ticket or the destination, I would assume. So understanding these I have put these words in here purposely for you to start labeling your text. So what I like to do is I like to make sure that I know that whatever it is that I'm doing during the day and the first tasks that I'm doing before one are things that are gonna move the needle in my business, or in this case in my organization for my clients. If it's not moving the needle for me to get me closer to help a client, or for me to get more loans for businesses that need assistance, or if it's not something that is going to help me grow, then it is not something that I'm gonna do by one. I might have time to do it later on, or then it goes into my to-do list. So for instance, this morning, I had to reach out to a client who needed some assistance on on some documents that they needed to have filed. All right. So that's customer service. That's something that I need to do for my client. However, I have another client where I need to get their credit memo ready so we can get him funding for his business. All right. So that takes for a priority on my day. And I work on that first, and then I work on the documents that my client needs. This doesn't mean that one of the ones is more important than the other. It just means that one is to be done, and the other one might be able to be put off for a later time. So if it's something that can wait, then goes in your to-do list. Now, to-do list and you're done by one are not the same thing. Your to-do list can always be modified, and it can always be removed, and it has and it can always be um, uh, per se moved to a different date. You're done by one. That is something that you definitely need to do and have finished that day before you clock out or you leave for the day. So what I end up like to doing is something like this. So this is usually what my day looks like. And I would love for you guys to share. Do you guys do anything like this? I use a system called Asana for me to prioritize what I do during the day for privacy purposes, because I have some clients' information. So I cannot show you guys what it looks like. But it's a board, a system that you're able to assign tasks and block times for you to use. There's a free version that you can use. I also like to use Notion for me to create a list and then be able to stay on top of the things that I need to do. And then that helps me create something that it looks something similar like this. So on my day, I'll have something that I'm gonna do, and that is going to move the needle on the task that I need to do. So my follow-ups, I usually tend to do if they're not life-threatening, I like to have all my follow-ups done after one. The reason why is because those usually are fires that I gotta put off for, and they're not that important. However, my sales in this case are things that I have to do to be able to provide funding for my clients. So I always focus on that first, and my admin information as well. So in this case, I have, I know Stephanie mentioned something about finishing documents. That probably will go into your admin bucket, and catch up emails might have to go on your follow up bucket. Um, the way that myself personally I like to organize my emails is I block 3 hours. I'm sorry, 3 times during the day. I block him at 9 in the morning, and then I block him again at 1 in the afternoon, and then I block him again at 4 in the afternoon. And try to get done some of those at that time. I don't spend too much time on that because other than that, as you all know, you do not get your emails never end. They will just keep coming. So the other tool that I like to use, and if you work in a team setting, or if you have a service that you provide, I like to have communications with my clients that I have access directly to them. So those are different ways that you can use. What I like to use in our team is we currently use Teams as our internal communications tool. And this is going to help you a lot if you have a team and you are overwhelmed by emails. If it needs to be said, or if it's a 2D conversation, then an email is the way to do this. An email or a message is the way to do so. But if it's a 3D conversation or message that you need to get across, a phone call is a better way to do so. And the reason why is because you get dragged into the email thread that has 50, 60 emails and it does not end. If it needs to be said, then grab the phone and call the person. Rather, or if you're in that office setting, you can walk over and talk to the person and have that conversation done. If it does not needs to be said and it can be a 2D conversation, honestly, the email will be the best way to do it. Unless you have an internal system like Teams, then you can definitely create channels and then be able to provide that information that way. In my business, I use Slack for communication with my clients, and then I create channels within that the platform for me to be able to communicate with that, and that has reduced my emails tremendously because then they can just ask simple questions on the channel, and I can answer them really quick, and it doesn't clog my emails, and I just leave emails for important communications with providers, with stakeholders, or anybody that we need to get hold of. And then the other thing that I like to do once you have all of these prioritized during your day is the following: is to start, and don't be afraid to do this. Start delegating to other people. Now, if you are a manager, obviously you can delegate to other people, but you might think, how can I delegate to someone um, if if there's nobody else that I supervise or anybody else that I work with? Well, there's some things that you can do, especially if you have your clients and you're working with your clients. If it's something that your client can do for themselves, then you very well can tell them and ask them, please have this done for me before our meeting. So for example, when someone books a business consultation with me, typically they're between 30 minutes and an hour of business consultation. If they just show up to business consultation and I don't know them, typically the first half an hour is just getting to know them, getting to know their business, and then we waste basically the first half an hour just introduction. So when they block time with me, I typically send them a questionnaire, or in this case, a pre-application from our organization, and I gather as much information as I can. So when I have the meeting with them, and then I can go straight up to the point and then start talking about their needs and their business right away when we start the call. That will be delegating the task to your clients. Now, if you have other people on your team, then that will be the best way for you to get and become more productive. So again, we're gonna go back to our to do's and done by ones. So all your done by ones are something that you personally need to do. And then anything else you can start delegating to folks or clients that you're currently working with. If you work, say that you're a freelance and you're doing a website, and then you need to have your images or your text and your information, and that's taking you time, you can very well pass that on to the client and make sure that they have it done. That way you can start prioritizing another stuff. So far, I have given you a few tips that I have used personally to reduce the waste of my time and to increase productivity on what I do. For example, on our team, and this is all these faces are just random faces. They're not from our team. But in my position, I deal with marketing, with lending, with outreach, um, and there's some things that I cannot control on my own. So I rely on my teammates. And then if there's something that I absolutely need to get done, then I'll focus on that, and then I rely other things to my teammates for us to help. Um, so I would love for you to share right now. I only have seen a few people um, put in their other wants and needs. What do you currently use as a um, as a tool for you to keep organized? Do you use your email? Do you use your calendar? Do you use like I do? Do you use Asana, um, or Notion or Notes? Um, what system do you currently use um, to get your things done? I'm curious to see. Um, so I'll give you a few seconds, or let's give another minute for you to try to drop down uh, the stuff that you currently use. And I love having this class in person because I love to have that interaction with you guys. So hopefully here soon we'll start having more in-person classes. There's some worksheets that I have for this class that I love to give you guys, but unfortunately because we're virtually, we cannot really do that. Um, all right, so there's some. Do you have anybody on Facebook, Chris?
Not at the moment. Wait. Yes. Natalie as well again. Just mentioned their calendar.
Calendar. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to see, does anybody uses Facebook booking for any of you guys's tracking for your either your business or um, to book clients or anything like that? Um, I like to use that on myself so I can stay or currently I use that to keep track of my on all my businesses. So anything? All right. Well, we're almost done. So I would love for you guys to share some of the stuff that we talked about, just to understand the different things that we do during the day to stay focused and to accomplish things. I'm gonna give you a few more seconds. All right, so I'm gonna talk a little bit about this and the way that things get set up on my on day to day and how we can become more productive. And then that will be the last slide, and then we'll be pretty much um, done for the day. So a few things that I work with my clients is in order for you to be productive, you need to understand your goals and the goals for your business, your organization, or yourself. A lot of my business clients, they know they want to make more sales, and they know they want to grow their business, but they don't have necessarily put it down on paper on what they want to do. So for example, if I have talked to several of my clients this week, and one conversation we had is, what are your goals for the next quarter? And he said, well, I just want to make more sales. I'm like, all right, but let's break it down even further. How much do you want to make? Oh, I don't know, 30, 40,000 in the next 3 months. Okay. Well, how are you going to do that? Where are you going to focus your energy on? Well, I want to get some more products out. I'm like, all right, well, what do you currently have right now that you can offer your clients right now? Oh, well, I have this product that I already have a lot of inventory on it. I'm like, okay, great. Well, why don't you start making a sale on that and then use what you currently have? And then so we went from having a big idea of making more sales into a more focused idea, which is to start making a campaign to reduce some of the prices of the current inventory that he has, and then be able to start selling it to the current clients that he has. That way he can start increasing more business. Now, in this case, if we have organizations um, that we don't necessarily have products, then we can start laying down our clients, and we can start saying, okay, so this person needs this documentation, this person needs to this follow-up, this person needs um, different services that we provide. Okay, which one am I going to tackle first? All right, so we're going to get the documents done. All right, so do I have half an hour to finish this up? And then I'm going to schedule for this to this time. And then start prioritizing and changing maybe your day, and understanding that not everything is important. Everything is to get done, but not everything is to get done at once. And so this is why I love to have more of um, an overview of what I need to do. And again, all the time I read is the priorities that I need to get done. And then my dreams are things that can always be put aside. I hope that this helps you guys. I did not have anybody to teach me how to organize my day. Believe me, I learned by fail and trail. So all I have learned throughout the day, the years, I am passing it on to you guys. I hope that this helps. Again, I cannot show you the tools that I give you because those are there's some private information in there. But I would love for you to reach out to me, and we can talk and set some time aside and do one-on-one, and then I can show you the things that I use to stay organized. So this is the contact information for myself. You can always reach me out at 402-685-5500 extension 202. You can email me, and you can always schedule a time for us to meet. I would love to visit with you guys. I would love to learn more about you guys. I really hope not only that you have a great trip and that you have so much fun. Please be safe. Stephanie, I hope that you have an amazing day as well. If you please could reach out and then send me an email with your questions, I'll be more than happy to answer those for you. Anybody else that has a question by any chance, Chris?
We are good on my end and over on the Facebook page. So I think we're good.
Awesome.
Everyone's got Leo's contact information. This will also be up on the Do Space Facebook page if you'd like to review it later to get that contact information.
That is awesome. Good deal. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for Do Space for allowing us this time. I greatly appreciate it. We'll stay tuned. Which again, feel free to reach out if you have any questions.
Have a good afternoon, everybody.
Bye-bye.